I I would please like to have that question answered. Let me ask first, are we on the record? Is there a court reporter present? Uh, Phyllis K. Webster, will you please recite your oath of office into the court of record then today?
Okay, guys, today we have a not-so-smart sovereign citizen on deck, and let me tell you, this is going to be a wild ride. This guy is reading straight from his little sovereign citizen handbook, which he probably purchased online for $20. You can see his eyes blinking back and forth as he tries to follow the script, even stumbling over his own words. He has no idea what he's talking about, but really, do they ever think this will work? Fun fact, claiming you're not subject to the law while standing in court isn't exactly a winning strategy, and it's kind of embarrassing to watch, but it's hilarious. Let me know what you guys think, and let's get started. Let's see if the court starts awarding participation awards for these clowns.
All right, and that's what I'm going to call now because it looks like it's between Mr. DeBus and Mr. Cochran. Well, I can't call, Mr. DeBus, you want to start your video? Okay, we are back on the record in 2023 TR 2777, State of Kansas versus Anthony Edward DeBus, with Jared Regier for the state, Mr. DeBus in person, and with standby counsel Darren Patterson. Standby because my prior contacts with Mr. DeBus led me to believe that he, even though he wants to represent himself, there's much about the legal system that he doesn't know or understand and would need the benefit, or would certainly benefit, period, from Mr. Patterson's representation. So, Mr. DeBus, at this time, you want to talk to Mr. Patterson and take advantage of his knowledge and experience in the legal system concerning this no driver's license charge, registration, and insurance violations?
Let me ask first, are we on the record? Is there a court reporter present?
Is there a court reporter present? This hearing is live. It is being recorded. Is someone sitting here with their little fingers clicking across the keyboard? No.
So you're saying that this is not currently a court of record?
This is a court of record because this is being recorded, subject to transcription at any time.
Okay. I would ask for a copy of that transcription.
Well, when you file a written motion and pay the transcription fee, sir, that will be arranged.
Okay. And Phyllis K. Webster, will you please recite your oath of office into the court of record then today?
No, sir, I will not.
Why are you refusing to do so?
Let's move along.
I would please like to have that question answered. On another note, I am appearing specially, not generally, under threat of duress and further coercion by the State of Kansas Corporation.
No, it's difficult to determine if these clowns are acting foolish or truly that foolish, so I believe this guy is making an appearance specifically because he seems to be a little bit on the unique side. To be honest, I'm going to assume that it's a good combination of both, but why is this guy attempting to have the judge read her oath here? Does he truly believe that this is some sort of magical way to avoid going to jail? This random guy asked them to tell me what you guys think this guy's endgame is here, because I can't figure it out with these clowns. Like, they repeat all this BS script stuff where they somehow get it online. So spoiler alert, it's not and has never been judges taking their oath when they're sworn in. They must have taken it off YouTube, yet they appear in court, spew all this bullshit, and then want the law to alter for him as if it were completely nonsensical. It just doesn't make sense to me that none of the cases we discussed on this channel have ever resulted in a victory, but please share your thoughts with me. Let's get back to it.
All right, sir. I did take my oath when I was appointed and when I was elected subsequently. Now, what is it I can help you with today? Do you want a trial, a jury trial, or do you want to enter a plea today?
It seemed like last time we had court, you entered the plea for me.
I did, because you would not.
Okay.
But yet what you were saying suggested you wanted a trial, so I entered the not guilty plea and set it for trial. Somewhere along the line, you led me to believe you wanted a jury trial as opposed to a bench trial. Had I been making the decision, I probably would have said bench trial. But somewhere along the line, you've made comments to make me think you wanted a jury trial. Now, I have not seen, let me double check. I don't think, Mr. DeBoos, that you have filed any kind of demand or request or notice for jury trial. Have you?
I thought that was entered into the last court session.
Well, I don't think you filed any motion. You told me you apparently told me you wanted a jury trial, but you never followed through.
I thought that was a decision that we made as the court.
Well, you and I did not make a decision of any kind. Mr. Patterson, do you believe it's acceptable for him to just say he wants a jury trial?
Your Honor, pursuant to case law, because there are at least up to 1 year in the county jail possible, if it's ever consecutive, then case law would state that he has a right to a jury trial.
Agreed, but does he not need to put something in writing to that effect that he wants one? That was my question.
Because there's an absolute right to jury trial, he would not have to put it in writing. It would have to be specifically waived by him, Your Honor, and I don't think he's done a waiver.
Very well. Do you agree with that, Mr. Regier?
Your Honor, what I can say at this time is pursuant to KSA 6238 subsection B, quote, on any issuable trial by right by a jury, a party may demand a jury trial by serving the other parties with a written demand, which may be included in a pleading no later than 14 days after the last pleading directed to the issue is served, and found the demand in accordance with KSA 6205 and amendments thereto.
Mr. Patterson, in spite of that statutory language, do you think he needs to waive his right to jury trial? Did I hear that right?
Absolutely, Judge. Pursuant to case law, and I don't dispute the statute whatsoever, but there is certain case law that makes it a constitutional right to a jury trial if the sentence would be up to a year in the county jail, and in this case, consecutively, it could be up to a year, the longest possible maximum. So it would have to be waived by him, and he would not have to make anything in writing to receive that.
But you don't believe that case law overrules the statutory law, or do you?
This is a constitutional right we're talking about, Your Honor. It would trump the statute.
Okay. So, Mr. Patterson, when you say up to a year in the county jail, are you thinking if they were to be run concurrently, or I mean consecutively versus concurrently?
That would be the longest possible sentence when you start running them consecutively, and that's what the case law would state.
It's so funny how the judge is only talking to the attorneys now and just completely ignoring this clown. Like he's not even on the call. Honestly, huge respect to the judge for not putting up with the nonsense, because honestly, so many judges these days just let these sovereign citizens ramble on and walk all over them too. It's such a breath of fresh air to see someone shutting it down finally, especially with these Zoom court hearings. Like I am not a fan at all, and particularly with these sovereign citizen court hearings, because it seems like the sovereign citizens get extra bold when they're sitting at home in their little office chair thinking they can argue with the law like if they were in person. I feel like they wouldn't go the same way, but over the Zoom court hearings, they just get super bold and confident, and it usually just ends up in a screaming match. But that's why I respect this judge. You know, she's handling it like a pro here, and let me know what you guys think about her, because it's pretty rare to see a judge handle it like this, you know, just ignoring the defendant. But let's back in.
Do you have your statutory site or your case law sites by chance? I know you didn't expect to pull them out.
It's not one I keep handy, but giving a short recess, I can find that.
Well, now, before you go to that, now, Mr. DeBoos, do you have any idea what's going on here?
I, as a common man, do not comprehend the legalese that you guys are using together. I can look up statutes and case law myself, and considering that this is dealing with a common right to all people under granted to us in restriction of government entities for the people itself, I comprehend that I have my right to jury trial, which I thank Mr. Patterson in his brief support towards this and towards me, towards my right to a jury trial, although I do not fully comprehend the legalese that is going on within the association between Jared Regier and yourself, Phyllis K. Webster.
All right, well, Mr. DeBoos, the point is you do have the right to represent yourself, and you've told me you want to represent yourself, and I've asked Mr. Patterson to stand by, and you've already used him here for this purpose. So here's the thing, Mr. DeBoos. No, let me talk now, Mr. DeBoos. Here's the thing. If you're going to represent yourself, you need to be able to make your own arguments. You need to be able to cite your own law. And if you cannot do that, you have the right to legal assistance, which is why Mr. Patterson is here. And you've already this quickly run into a legal snag that he's made the argument for you. Does it not make sense to you? And do you not want to have his legal assistance to let him represent you?
I do not wish to be represented by an attorney whose duty first is to the courts and not to their clients. And if we're speaking on rights in regards to laws and statutes, the arrest made on me by Deputy K. Barriquet was an unlawful arrest for
we're not going on
22-2401.
We're not going down that path right now, sir. Well, the issue is, so you do want a jury trial. Are you ready to proceed on Wednesday, Mr. DeBoos?
May I ask that there be an extension so that way I may fully research the procedures of the administrative criminal law which you're trying to try me under?
One thing I will say about these sovereign citizens is that they are incredibly confident. After all, who else could risk their entire freedom and walk into court knowing nothing about the law and still act like they are going to win a Nobel Prize in legal genius? It's really amazing in the most sarcastic way possible. For example, how do they maintain a straight face while arguing with a real judge using arguments they most likely found on some dubious website? I'm not sure if this is just plain stupidity, a lack of courage, or perhaps even if they are the smartest people on the planet and we're all missing something. Let me know what you guys think. Are these people truly just idiots, or are we missing something here? And are these people just some of the smartest people in the world? Let's get back in.
Well, I'm not the administrative law judge. That is yet another procedure.
Although you are in an administrative court under the state of Kansas Corporation, correct?
I'm here in a criminal traffic trial, and I am not an administrative law judge. So here's what we're going to do. How much time do you want this continued for?
30 days or so seems to be a standard.
Well, my next available jury trial date would be October 2nd and 3rd. So
2024.
2024. So that's when I will continue this at your request to. I'll grant your continuance, but that's my next available date. And your pretrial will be September 30th, 2024. Do you have any objections to that?
No objections.
And Mr. Patterson, do you have any legal authority that suggests that I reaffirm my oath for him? Do you have anything that says I should do that?
Judge, I'm afraid I've never researched that issue, never heard that issue.
All right. Well, same here. I do have my oath in front of me. Keep it handy, but I don't see the need to repeat that. It was good enough for the Supreme Court of Kansas.
I adore this judge. I sincerely hope that more judges have this kind of attitude because she is simply too good for these fools. The way she dealt with this clown was flawless, in my opinion. It was almost like watching a professional swat away a fly. You can tell it hurt this guy's soul where she shut him down completely by asking the lawyer that question. It's like she tore up his little script and threw it in front of his face. To be honest, though, these people need a reality check. This guy is literally facing the funniest part of it all is how these sovereign citizens always believe they have the upper hand even when they are sinking faster than the Titanic. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here and ask what you thought of this court hearing. Don't forget that he also claimed he doesn't know the law at the end there, but he chose to represent himself. How do you not know the rules of the game but still insist on being the captain of your team? Tell me what you think below, but don't forget to like, whether you believe the judge handled it flawlessly or if you think this man is simply a next-level genius and his case magically. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe if you enjoy this kind of work. Take care.